You can make this rustic loaf in your kitchen. Let's do it. I did it. I found a bread recipe that's almost as easy as my biscuit recipe. Let's make it. This is a no-knead bread, sometimes referred to as a rustic loaf or a farm loaf, and it only takes 4 ingredients. 500 grams of bread flour, 400 grams of water, 7 grams of yeast or 1 packet, and 12 grams of salt. That's it. Our 500 grams of bread flour into a bowl. You want bread flour because it has a higher protein mix. Add our 12 grams of salt and our 7 grams of yeast to that mix and give it a quick whisk. We add our 400 grams of warm water to that mix. We don't want it hot because we don't want it to kill the yeast, just keep it warm. And all we're gonna do is mix this until everything's combined. And once that's combined into a shaggy dough, like, hey Scoop, that's the shaggiest dough I've ever seen. Form that into a little ball, cover it with some plastic wrap, and leave it alone. Leave it alone for a long time. How long? Until it's about 3 times this size. Oh, look, it's 11:11 right now. We'll see what time it is when you're ready. It's been a few hours, and our dough has tripled in size substantially. Crank up this oven to 500. And I'm gonna heat my Dutch oven with the oven. So I'm gonna dust the surface with just a little bit of flour. Look at all that bubbly activity. And then I've got a little plastic bench scraper here that I love to use. What I need now is a ball with a lot of surface tension on it. And I'm gonna tuck and turn. There's a lot of tucking and turning. Kind of like you're a drag queen on the runway. You're tucking and you're turning. Cover it with a tea towel and just let it bench rest for like 30 minutes. Bench rest is just a fancy way of saying leave it alone on your counter. Once your oven is up to temperature and your bread dough has sat for about 30 minutes, transfer it to a piece of parchment paper. Give it a quick cut with either a sharp kitchen knife, or if you happen to have one of these fancy bread lawns, you can do that. That lets the steam escape, and you don't have to get all fancy with the cutting. Put it in your Dutch oven, cover it up with the lid, and put it in the oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, remove the lid and put it back in the oven for about 15 more minutes, or until the crust is as dark as you like it. Nice. The last thing that we got to do is let this cool down completely, at least a couple hours. It's still cooking. Look, fresh homemade bread shouldn't be anything that anybody's afraid of. If you have flour, yeast, water, salt, and a little bit of time,